Welcome to Get Celebritized. I'm your host, Aurea McGarry, and forgive me for that little pause of just a moment ago. We were having a little technical issue. Hey, that's show business. Anyway, I am so glad to be here today with a very special guest, a national news journalist that I have met and gotten to know very well at our Emmy galas and our parties that we do here for our natas and our galas for the Emmy Awards, because he's very established in this industry and he's only 24 years old. So help me welcome the amazing, the incomparable Tyrik Wynn. He is an award-winning national news anchor. He has made history as the youngest talent at iHeartRadio Black Information Network at only 23 years old, which was just last year. He's the Atlanta Press Club Award of Excellence for Best Podcast. You know how I love a podcast. He has interviewed many celebrities, including, get ready for this, CeeLo, Ludacris, Michael Strahan, Patrick Holmes, and that's just to name a few. He has also covered the Super Bowl in New Orleans and many, many, many other events around Atlanta and around the country. So enough of me. Let's bring on Tyrik Wynn. Tyrik, get up here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good to be here.
Oh, it's so good to have you. You know, you and I have been bumping into each other for the last couple of years at the Emmy events that we do, the nomination parties, and we keep saying, you got to come on the show. And finally, today's the day. Had a couple of glitches in the beginning, but hey, that's showbiz, right?
Oh, yeah. But we're here now, and I'm happy to be here.
And I keep watching to make sure it's still recording. You know, I'm like, wait a minute. So anyway, but you are no stranger to recording, to being on TV, being a red carpet host, all of the things. So why don't you take a minute, Tyrik, to introduce yourself? You are young and vibrant and up and coming, but you've already had a lot of success. We're going to talk about that to help the viewers know. How do you achieve success? How do you get on the road to what we like to call here on Get Celebritized, how to earn more, live more, and give back more?
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Definitely a pleasure to be here. Happy to get celebritized. So this is great. Very excited about this. So yeah, I would say my journey started when I was 14 years old. And when I was 14, I wrote my first book. It was called Green is the Thing, Money Management for Kids. And it was a book to teach kids about financial literacy. Now, even though that had nothing to do with journalism and television, it actually, by me having that book, I was exposed to media because, you know, I was invited to do different show interviews like this and podcasts, and I was on set, different news stations and shows and stuff because they wanted to talk about the book. And then also in the midst of that, my mom and my aunt, they were starting their radio show as well. So just being exposed to these things and just started watching TV more. My parents was always watching the news every day. So just a combination of things. I was exposed to this industry and I was like, wow, like I want to do this. So I made up my mind at 16 that I did want to finally do this. So I started a YouTube channel and just went ahead and got started. And that is my advice. You don't have to have all the fancy equipment. You don't have to have the good, you know, the fancy cameras. And
just the phone.
Literally a cell phone, and it'll get you there. So that's what I did. Started my YouTube channel with that. I remember I started with a toy microphone I got from Wendy's in my kids' meal. I started with a Nikon camera with a flimsy tripod. I mean, you got to start somewhere. So
if the pandemic taught us nothing, it's how you can literally take your cell phone and become a star. I mean, crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I got started. So I would say that's my advice, is to definitely just get started. You don't have to have all the answers up front. You don't have to have all the fancy stuff. If you have a dream, go ahead and get started with the resources that you have. And let me tell you, the number one resource we all have is, like you said, the cell phone. We can do so much on this device. We have to use it as a tool. We have to use it for good.
Absolutely. And Tyrik, I'm so glad you mentioned that you wrote a book and then it kind of took you on to the next level. It's very similar to my story. You know, I started by writing the book, which then introduced me to all these cool people that gave me the idea to start the TV show that went on to win the Emmy, and it's my whole life. But I didn't know that when I started. Just had the idea, need to write the book. Had no idea where it was going to lead me. So I love that you said that. You started with something, project you felt called to do, and then a whole world opened up to you. So that's point number one. I really want people to take to heart. Start somewhere. And we're not talking about just being TV journalists and media and all that. Talk about if you want to be, marine biologist, if you want to be a photographer, if you want to be, an attorney, a writer, whatever your dream is, a professional athlete, whatever. You got to start somewhere, because that's how you put one foot in front of the other, and the Lord can bless you and bring other people. And because we don't know where the end is, but we have to start. Don't you agree?
Of course. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And it's like and it's always find a way to get that experience too. Even if you are at a young age, I was at a young age. I was in my
teens. Hey, you're still young. Let's just be clear.
Yeah, I'm still 24. So
me too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A few years older.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, birthday in 2 months. I'll be 25. But yeah, I'm still, and I was starting at 14, 16. I was still a teenager.
Yeah.
So, I was in college, so I didn't have a choice at that time, I didn't have a choice or an option to do student media, didn't have an option to do internships and things of that nature. So it was, I was kind of limited, but I was determined to go ahead and start working and getting that experience. And then once you get into college and stuff, then you can really broaden that. You can, if you're interested in journalism, join your student media, your newspaper, news station, radio station, magazine. We had a lot of options. I went to Georgia State, by the way. Shout out to GSU. So we had a lot of options, a lot of great options. And, we were fortunate enough to cover some great stories, especially we had great people that always came on campus. Of course, Georgia State downtown Atlanta. So everything was happening,
exactly.
in the midst of a political season, pretty big political season that was when we were, I remember that was my first political race I covered, I believe was the first governor's race, when the first matchup between Abrams and Kemp.
Okay.
So that was the first thing I had a chance to cover. Then sports wise, while I was in school, the Super Bowl came to town. So I was fortunate enough to have so many great experiences, and you got to take advantage of what you have.
You do. So you did all that through the college had programs. You were able to do that? Because, we all know that, in media and what we're doing, you just can't show up and, get a media pass and interview people. So your college actually gave you this roadmap to say, here, you go out and do that. Is that how that worked?
Yeah. So, well, actually, I just took some initiative. So what I did was I told them just what I wanted to cover. I said, this is what I want to cover. What I would always do is just head to Google and type in the name of the event or whatever's going on. And then after that name of the event, type in media credentials and just figure out what Google comes up with. It'll take me directly to the link, the application to fill out the credentials. And I would just go from there. And so, of course, you get it approved through the news director and, media heads and all those great things. And so,
and was it because you went to Georgia State that gave you that open door? Do you have to be in college or graduate from college for this particular? I know in journalism you do, but is that what opened those doors for you because you were in Georgia State?
Yeah. So, obviously I was at Georgia State, but I was able to, get these open doors because, one, I also had work to show for it. I had worked previously, so that way they could see, he's doing
to show them. Okay.
Because they always want to see, there's always space for examples of work or links to previous doings and stuff. So they always want to see that just to make sure, because, sometimes people just, come up with something just so they can get it to the event, so they always want to vet everybody and make sure everybody.
I don't blame them. Good. Yeah. But again, you have the credentials behind you, whether it's a job, somebody's working at a newspaper or working at a TV station locally, wherever y'all are watching. Everybody has a local news station, a local TV station, or like I said, maybe the people watching aren't in media, news, and journalism, but they have a job or a community that can help them, that gives them credibility, whatever that may be, to say, hey, I'm with this organization. I'd like to photographs and something, and your organization gives you credibility. But you're right, getting those cell phones out and starting now by showcasing whatever you do, whether you're a chef or whether you're a fitness workout person or yoga, whatever you do, they have to see you in action. It can't be, I've got 2 videos because I just put them up. It has to be that ongoing, because people now, the eye buys. And people now, I don't even have to put this Instagram up for you. Everybody can see Instagram Tyrik Wynn, or you could see AureaMcGarry.com, right? People don't have to do that, say that anymore. Because Tyrik, you just said something. If somebody's watching this show and they say, who's Tyrik Wynn or who's Aurea McGarry, they go right to Google. So you better have stuff on. Teaching some of my clients said, you better have under images, lots of great images of you at events, doing what you do, whatever that may be. What do you say about that?
Yeah, it's important to have that good reputation, and it's important to have that stuff on the internet. That's why I always tell people it's important. We gotta get posting on social media. Even if you don't like it, we have to post, because this is where people are going to go. They're going to look at your social media. They're going to look at your website. Like you said, they're going to look at Google, because they're going to want to know some things, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to have that good reputation and that good image out online, right? To be, if you're an entrepreneur, people want to know more about your business. If they're interested in working with you, they're probably going to check you out first to see exactly what they're getting into and who they're buying from. So they're going to go to your website. They're going to go to Google. They're going to look at your reviews, right?
Yeah.
Want to make sure that they're going to get good service and the outcome is going to be good. So we always want to make sure that we're actively posting on social media, posting us doing things, behind the scenes, clips, footage, all that good stuff, and just
showing your work. Absolutely. And I find people too, as consumers, we're much smarter consumers now than ever. And we're very aware of AI and fake news and fake things and fake reviews and bot followers. I mean, we're not stupid consumers out there. So what do you think about what I think is really important is things like this, Tyrik, being on shows, showing us in person. This isn't an AI. This isn't a fake review. We can really talk about what you do, how you help people. So how important do you think it is for people, no matter what their career industry, to be on podcasts, to be on shows, maybe get on local news to promote whatever it is that they're doing? Because to see people in action, that's not a fake review, or to have a testimonial to show your before and after, whatever it is. How important do you think that is in this day and age?
It's very important, and I can tell you one thing, because every day I do this morning entrepreneurship call during the weekdays, and one thing somebody said this morning, if you create a product, it can be the greatest product in the world, but if you're not getting out there marketing, if you're not getting that exposure, it really doesn't matter, because only you know about it. You got to get that exposure. You got to let people know about you. You got to let people know that you exist. You have to make your presence known. So that's very important. And then you also talked about something else that's very important, especially if you're in business. You talked about testimonials and reviews. I always say that testimonials are the most profitable way of getting clients, because people want to know that they can trust you. And if people see that other people have used your business, used your services, and they trust you, then they'll be more inclined to trust you as well. Especially when it comes to getting, and that could be a regular person, that could be a big time public figure, whatever the case may be. But it's very important to get those testimonies, which is why I was like, within my video production company, we actually film customer testimonial videos. And people like, well, Tyrik, what type of video should I get? I have this budget. I'm like, get a testimonial video, just because you get people getting people on camera saying all these amazing things about you and your business, talking about their experience working with you, and that's gonna sell. Because we could talk about ourselves all day and talk about how great we are, but I mean, of course, we're gonna promote ourselves.
Yeah, I'm terrible. Don't ever hire me. Exactly. It's gotten to the point, Tyrik, where, I buy a lot of my stuff on Amazon now, and a lot of my friends do. It's like, where'd you get that Amazon? You buy everything on Amazon. And I've gotten to the point where I don't even buy a cosmetic or buy a little fan or anything without going all the way down to see the reviews. And the ones that matter most to me are the video. Like, I buy something for my pets. I want to see something for my dogs or something. I'm looking at the video because then I can get a better picture of what it's like in person, with their hands in that video. So that matters. I really think that video does buy. And if somebody is buying from you, or just finished, got out of an event, let's say you do events, or you just host an event, take out this phone and get that testimonial right there while it's hot. Don't let everybody go home and then say, hey, can you send me a testimonial? People are busy. But if somebody's enjoying your product, you have an ice cream parlor, and they say, this is the best ice cream I ever had. Say, can I get that on testimonial? pull it out, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
No, I definitely agree. And especially you did bring up a good point. You got to get it right then and there because, like you said, people are busy and you send them a message later that they're probably not going to do it because you should.
And they want to, but they don't have time. I get people messing me all the time for LinkedIn reviews or LinkedIn, recommendations. And you want to, and you read it, but you don't have time to put your thoughts together. So then you forget. And then months go by. You never sent me a recommendation. It's like, oh, I meant to. So in the moment when they're purchasing or buying or experiencing you, get that testimony. We do a lot of that at the Emmys. At Natus, we're doing a lot. I know we've got, Kareem and our whole social media task force, I should say, that are constantly getting it in action when we're at the events, we're at the nomination parties, we're at the Christmas party, we're taking pictures and videos and posting right then and there. But then we have an archive of ones we're going to post and stream out, the next day, the next week to keep that excitement going. But we don't go back. Hey, did you like the party? Can you send us a testimonial? Show the party. It makes more sense.
Of course. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Got to get it right then and there.
So tell me this, Tyrik. At 24 years young, almost 25 years young, what is your greatest accomplishment so far that you're the most proud of? And how did you go about accomplishing it?
Ooh, wow, that's a great question. I would say, most proudest accomplishment. I would say graduating. Graduating college, just nice. Because, of course, people would expect career and all that stuff. But I would say graduating college debt free. I remember
that.
Yeah, that was such a blessing. Definitely we'll get into that as well. So I can say one thing about it was just hearing different stories about. I kept hearing so many adults say, I have $1,000 in student loans. I'm never going to pay this off. And I was like, I didn't want that to be me. And so I was like, I can't have that be me. So what I did was, one, I took it upon myself to go to in-state college, right? And be getting good grades while I was in high school. So for those of you guys who are watching that may not be in Georgia, we have this thing we call, it's the Hope Scholarship, and it's also the Zell Miller Scholarship. So, great things.
Every state's got scholarships, so they just have to look into what they have in their state.
Yeah, because I'm sure it's some other states that have in-state scholarships as well. But yeah, that's funded by lottery and stuff. And so it's for students who have 3.0 GPA when they graduate high school, or for Zell, that's for Hope. And then Zell Miller, I think it's like 3.7. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure what the exact number is, but it's, higher up there. And so I was fortunate enough to be able to graduate with that 3.0 GPA or higher when I left high school. So that's 80% of my tuition, right? Then when I got to Georgia State, the great thing is I had some, my parents, absolutely fantastic. What my parents were doing while I was growing up, they were saving money for college. So they had saved up a couple of $1,000s for me. And so I used a lot of that for my room and board, my books, my first year and all that stuff, because I did stay on campus the first year. And then from there, I was getting scholarships while I was in college and stuff, other scholarships on top of that. And I was actually even getting refunds at some point, because sometimes the scholarships will overflow and they'll just give you that extra money in your pocket that you can deposit in your bank account.
Nice.
So that was definitely a huge accomplishment, definitely a blessing. But yeah, the way I did it, just get the scholarships, get good grades, because, you can graduate with that, but you also have to maintain that while you're in college, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you have to maintain it, because if you don't maintain it, it'll go away.
Yeah. And this is good for the parents now, because I get a lot of, moms and dads watching the show, and they either have kids in high school or just getting into college. So they'll like this advice as well. And there's always a way. There's always a workaround. And I'm the type of person who will say, you have not because you ask not. Ask around. Ask your other parents. Ask other people, what are you doing? Where are you going? How did you get that? Like I just said, how'd you get that scholarship? How did you do that? I'm constantly asking great people great questions. How did you do that? How did you get there? Because I think that's the most important thing, to acquire knowledge. And sometimes it's not, like a mathematical equation. It's like, how did you get from here to there? Because I think that's so helpful. And so now you've done all that. You're about to be 25. It's great. I love that. You got so much more to go. So much more to go. What is your big dream? What's next? But what is the big dream? What's the big dream? What's the big goal? Do you have it, or are you not sure yet?
Yeah, so the big dream, the big goal is actually a couple of things, but I will say the end road is to one, be a national television syndicated talk show host. So like your Tamron Hall, your Jennifer Hudson, those shows I want.
I like the way you mentioned women. So the two of those were women. Yay!
Yeah, yeah. And then I would say male wise, I definitely love the late night shows like Jimmy Kimmel, Fallon,
hmm
Stephen Colbert. Love those shows as well.
Okay.
So yeah, that's definitely one of the main goals. Then also to have some more ownership in the space of media, as far as owning some television networks, owning some streaming platforms, or shoot, I would love to own part of Netflix one day. Like that would
Why
be
not?
absolutely fantastic. So to be doing that, and then also other hosting opportunities. Like I really, when I look at if I could pinpoint an example for you, it would be Michael Strahan, because
Oh,
one, he's anchor on Good Morning America. He also does sports on Fox Sports
he
Sundays.
was a football player, so he
Yeah,
went from his career into moving onto all this.
yeah, exactly. And then he also hosts game shows too. Like that's perfect. Like,
$100,000 pyramid.
yeah, yeah. And so
He reminds me of Ryan Seacrest. Start one place, and all of a sudden you're everywhere. Now he's doing what, Wheel of Fortune? It's like busy people.
yeah, yeah. So
There is a price to pay for that too, because being that busy, I'm always wondering. I didn't know Michael Strahan's daughter just going through cancer, and that's got to be hard. So you have to have a certain personality type that you can thrive that way, and you can really work a good schedule and be there. Because I know somewhere something takes a toll when you do that much. So I love what you said. You want to do your own show, your own network, own podcast. That's so doable, because I know you're such a nice guy. I'm going to ask you in a second about, family plans. I can see you being such a great husband and dad and friend and, not workaholic. Don't be out there for everybody, not be there for those, because you're so sweet. You're so nice. We want you too over here to be friends with you. But with that, why not start your TV show now? You said you like podcasting. What's stopping you from doing your own TV show and podcast right now, like what I do?
Yeah. So actually, I actually do have my own podcast. It's called Navigating Journalism Podcast. So actually, that's funny you mentioned. It's actually second season is literally coming out this month. So
Say the name again.
Navigating Journalism Podcast. So that is a new podcast that I started not too long ago, but it's a podcast where just bringing on different journalists. We're talking about their journey and how they got to where they are and stuff.
Nice.
So we talking about the pitfalls, the job search, the struggles, all of that good stuff. Packing that in one interview. And so I have that podcast, and then of course I still do my show. It's been a while since I've done the show, just because I was at really busy from doing that talk show. But I definitely am going to get back to that, because I was doing the celebrity interviews and stuff, and that's something I definitely want to get back to. So working on getting back to that, and that's what we've been doing in the meantime. But definitely been building the YouTube channel, which by the grace of God, it has over 4,000 subscribers. It's monetized, so that's so that's great. So definitely have been working on those things. Got those things in the pipeline.
Okay. Now, when you interviewed the celebrities, was that something you did through your college, or is that so? You're saying going back to? What is he going back to? Was that a job you used to have you don't have now? Talk to me a little bit about what that was and where you want to go now.
Yeah, so I was a teenager when I started doing the celebrity interviews. So I remember the way I did it. I just created the show, and it was called Tyrik on the Move. And so I just created that show. I would reach out to the celebrities. I would just go on their Instagram accounts, click the email tab, send an email. Usually leads them to their publicist, their manager, their assistant, whoever handles their bookings and stuff. So I would just send an email, and I remember one time I said I'm going to send 100 emails, and I said I'll probably get yeses from about 10. Because they have busy schedules. They're crazy.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I just started getting them, and so I really did a whole bunch. I will tell you, the pandemic. Of course, the pandemic was sad and very unfortunate, but nobody was doing anything. Nobody.
Yeah, that was a good time for that.
Yeah, so the celebrities were available to do Zoom interviews, virtual, all those great things. So I was able to capture those and stuff, and then once I went to iHeartRadio, I'm no longer there anymore because I, did my 2 years there. But once I was there, I was getting great interviews every single week. I had amazing relationships. I still have amazing relationships with a lot of the publicists, and they were always bringing me their celebrity clients.
Were you an intern?
No, I was a news anchor there.
Nice. And give the viewers a piece of advice how you got that job, because that's kind of a dream job. And again, you were what, a teenager? So
yeah,
this is really good stuff.
Yeah. I was a teenager when I started the YouTube channel and the show. I was 23 when I got to iHeartRadio.
Okay, still young.
Yeah, of course. So
Wonderful.
the way I got that is I put out this thing for those of you all who aren't in journalism, but we call it the anchor reporter reel. So what that is it's a montage of your clips of you on TV doing different stories, doing different interviews and things of that nature. So what I did was I put my anchor reporter reel together before I graduated college in May of 2022. So I put my reel out, I think about March. And so I didn't get the call to iHeartRadio until actually October. And so I was actually on the beach in Hawaii on my graduation trip when I got that call. And so the news director reached out and said, I saw your reel. I really like your work. I like the fact that you're young and you've done so many great stories and stuff. And he said the thing that really got him was when Senator Warnock, he was Reverend Warnock at the time, and I did an interview with him because he had just did a speech that sounded like, something might be coming next. He might be campaign. Like he didn't say that, but he said some clues, some context clues. And so I asked him after a speech, I said, hey, Senator Reverend Warnock, based on some things that you said, it sounds like you might be thinking about making a run for office. And then he said, the other journalists are core. You just get right to the point. And so he saw that clip in my reel and he said, that's what made me hire you, because you weren't afraid to ask the questions that needed to be asked. And so I was so grateful for that moment.
That's awesome. And that shows, those testimonial reels, those we call them promo reels work. And again, anybody watching or listening, it doesn't have to be TV, media, journalists, whatever you do, you need that, what we used to call a portfolio. If you're a photographer and artist, you have a portfolio. When you're a makeup artist, you have a portfolio before and afters. And nowadays it's gone online. So what do? We're looking for, I swear, my daughter has found more of our hairdressers on Instagram, because you go to Instagram, you look under, Atlanta, you look under, even where we are, and you see all these great hairdressers, but you're seeing the before and afters. And that's so important. That's all they do. We found the most incredible people to this day. My hairdresser, my daughter found on Instagram.
You do a great job, because your hair.
I do. But that's what people find now. So think about that old-fashioned portfolio we used to have in person. I used to be a makeup artist, have this before and after. Now it's called Instagram or TikTok, the videos on TikTok. It's such a necessity now, whatever you want to do, to be brave like you have, Tyrik. You went to school for what you wanted to do. You took steps forward. You created yourself. Your YouTube channel, can people find it on your Instagram? Do you have a link to it on your Instagram?
Absolutely. Yeah. People can head over to my Instagram, click the link in my bio, and then take you right over there too.
Great. Because I wanted to follow you, because social media, help with that is always good. People always want to follow each other on this. But also it's great for people to see, this is what he did, and to get some ideas from you. Because I believe if we all share ideas, we'll all be more successful, because there is room at the top for everyone. There is just not one person that is like, the end all be all. Every industry needs lots of people doing lots of things. And now more than ever with social media, there's so many people. I mean, I can go on TikTok right now or Instagram or YouTube and find a million different recipes and ways to cook chicken or make tiramisu or, lose 10 pounds. We don't need one person, because we'll all resonate with different personalities, with different ingredients. We can all do the exact same thing, but none of us are going to do it the exact same way. So the world needs us all to show up. And so I really appreciate you giving us the tips and sharing, being so young, and also doing this, because you're never too young, you're never too old, or anything in between. You're young and already on your way. I didn't even win my Emmy Award until I was 48 and already had cancer. And they already took out my vocal cord nerve, told me never speak again. Then my speaking dreams started coming true. So over, under, around, or through. your dreams can still come true. They might look different than when you were 5, but they can still happen. Just let them happen and put one foot in front of the other towards what you love to do, because you never know. So with that, Tyrik, as we wrap up, you've got a wonderful future ahead. You are so vibrant here in the Atlanta area. Give us a last piece of advice, maybe a great book that people need to read to help them succeed, something that's made a difference to you. Was it a mentor? Was it a program? Was it a workshop? Was it a movie, a TV series? Give us some referrals of things people can either watch, read, take, or people we need to meet to help them believe in themselves and their dreams.
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure being here. Great talking to you as always. And yeah, I do have a couple of things I do want to share. I can say one organization that has really helped me. Well, actually, a couple of things. One, I talked about college, being at Georgia State, joining those student media programs. I mean, that's when I was able to learn how to be on camera presence, how to speak clearly on camera, how to do interviews, coordinate, ask questions and stuff. So I was able to learn all of those things. And then also want to give a shout out to NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists. I was fortunate enough to be able to be part of that organization as well. I think I joined when I was in college. And so when I joined in college, I joined the national chapter, joined the student chapter there. And so then when I graduated, joined the Atlanta chapter as well. And so when I was part of NABJ, well, I'm still part of NABJ, but I did some amazing programs while I was in college. And 2 of those programs were the NABJ Multimedia Short Course. And then I also did what we call student projects as well. And so that was getting real experience of being in a real newsroom, doing real stories with different interviews and telling, these stories that are actually like, because of course when you're college, you're telling college-based stories, but now we're telling like real stories, like out in the community, getting out in the community and telling stories and doing different interviews and stuff. And so it was just great. And mistakes were made. I remember one issue that I had when I was coming up in media. Well, I'm still coming up in media, but in my very early stages when I first started, I was just super loud. And they were like, Tyrik, you can have the energy, but you don't have to be so loud. My loudness was an issue of mine. So, I would always be like, I'm Tyrik Wynn, and be like, Tyrik.
The microphone blows up.
Yeah.
I had the same problem back in the day.
Yeah. So I was always that person that was peaking, with the audio levels and stuff. They like, Tyrik, you ain't got to do all that. So that was one valuable lesson that I learned and stuff. So I'm definitely so grateful for those organizations and those great opportunities I was fortunate enough to have. And then also a couple of advice and things I would say, two things. One is when somebody tells you no, you need to use that as motivation to prove them wrong, because there are going to be a lot of people that are going to tell you no, you can't do this, you're too young, you're too old, you don't have enough experience. You have to use that as motivation to say, you know what, I disagree with that. I'm going to go forth with this. This is my plan. This is my dream. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to get it done. Right. That's one thing. Second thing is sometimes doors may not always open, so you have to create your own door and walk through it. And what I mean by that is, you just got to create your own opportunities, like how you did. You got your own show, amazing platform, right?
Enough of the auditions.
Yeah, so you have to create your own opportunities, create your own content, start your own business, whatever the case may be. You don't always have to wait for somebody to open up a door, because at the time a door may not be available, so you have to create your own opportunities and create your own avenues, and that would be my advice. But like I said, this is great. I had an amazing time, and I'm excited for the future, what God has in store.
Tyrik, you're my people. You were speaking my language here. I mean, everything you said, I'm like on the other end. You're brand new starting out, but everything you said is exactly my journey, what happened to me with starting the book and creating my own and just walking through it all and never giving up. And I loved you said a couple of tips in recap. You said for success, education and training. Not necessarily does have to be college. You went to college. That was your journey. Other people don't think you have to go to college to reach your dream, but education's important. Learn how to do what your dream is. You have to be educated, trained. Networking in communities, joining network communities in your industry, in your field, in your hobby or interest. Really important. Also, join programs. And I love you said no equals motivation and create your own opportunity. Don't try to go it alone. We all need people. We need mentors. We need teachers. We need coaches. School is never out for the pro. I will continue learning till the day I die, and I hope everyone else will as well. We never arrive. So if your goal is to arrive, I mean, Beyonce hasn't arrived. There's still more she wants to do. Oprah hasn't arrived. Just when you think she's as the top she could be, she does more, and then we're producing. It never ends. Your dreams always have to keep on going, and your help to others keep on growing, because the more successful we become, the more we can help others. Because my passion is charities and nonprofits, but there could be somebody right next door to you that needs a helping hand. And if you're successful in some way, shape, or form, you can help rise other people up as well. So I think it's really important. So my last couple of questions with that, I love that, is do you have a favorite book that you'd like to recommend to anyone?
Oh, favorite book. Let me see.
Favorite author.
I would say I really like the book. We actually read this when I was in high school. I was doing Student Government Association. And one book that we read as a group it was called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yes.
That's a good book.
That's a classic.
Yes. Please read it. If you
That's a classic.
It literally just teaches you so many just fundamental things just of moving throughout life and having it.
I'm surprised you read that in high school. That was one of our high school. I didn't read that until I was in my 30s. I was in sales.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Your high school had you read that?
Yeah. So we were on Student Government Association. That was one of our assignments was to read that book, which it fit perfectly, and it was something that we definitely needed for sure.
Have you ever read John Maxwell? Great leaders ask great questions.
I've heard of that, but I need to read it.
That one, because you're in journalism. That's a great one to read. It's about asking the right questions and great questions, listening, learning more than we were speaking, and throwing up on people. But it's really good. Great leaders ask great questions. Okay. It's John Maxwell. But here's an oldie but goodie I'll give to you. It's a little tiny paperback. You'll probably get it used for $1 on Amazon. But I promise you, it changes everybody's life that I tell to read it. Changed my life because it's so important as a leader. And I've given it to some people that weren't even good leaders, said, you need to read this book. And it's Mary Kay Ash on people management. And it's how praising people to success, where if you need to critique somebody, whether they're on your team, they're an employee, or you're a director. I know like Ron Howard is a really great director. He really brings out the best in his actors. That's why he's award-winning and so fun to work with. But you can't go into somebody, you need to fix this. And this even works for parents. Fix this, don't do this. No. She came up with this wonderful sandwiching. First, start by what you do well. You really did this really well. Great job. Here's what you can tweak or what needs you fixed, and then sandwich it with another piece of bread. That's another piece of praise. So Mary Kay Ash on people management, you can probably read it in 20 minutes, even less, but it's such an amazing way of life to always address anything you need to be changed with that praise first, fix or critique, and then praise again. So that's just something I love. And lastly, on that, who's one of your favorite celebrities and why?
Ooh. Favorite celebrity?
And why?
Let me see. It would have to be Usher.
Usher. We love Usher here in Atlanta. Why? Why Usher?
Yeah, I would say Usher just because, one, I grew up listening to his music, and he's my favorite artist, and I just like his vibe, and he's so smooth with it, so I like to call myself smooth as well. And so I've actually met him before. He was great. He was kind. He was real nice. He's an amazing guy. And so got a great voice, great dance moves. And
he also has a nonprofit. He has the Inner City Kids nonprofit.
Yeah, which I've actually had a chance to. I've spoken to his nonprofit a couple of times as well. My best friend actually works with his nonprofit too.
Nice.
So yeah, Usher's New Look. Yeah, great charity by the way. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love the great work that he does. Nonprofit wise and stuff. And I mean, he's just killing it. So
You know,
that is my guy right there.
I love that. I love it. Everybody who's ever listening, watching that don't live in Atlanta. He was one of our own, and he does great work here. And tabloids and stuff. People hear so many bad things about so many people, but then when Usher, we run into Usher. My daughter sings with Usher's singing coach, Jan Smith, and
Oh, Jan, yeah.
yeah, Jan. My daughter's a singer, and with Justin Bieber's coach and all that. But these are like real people. We see them just like wherever you all live, who is listening and watching. You've got people, local celebrities that influence your life, but you've been able to see in person, and their good works as well. So tabloids aren't always right, as we all know. But yeah, I'm glad you said that. He's a good guy. We like him here in Atlanta area, and we've got so many of our local celebrities here, our news anchors and people in our Emmys. We just love. This is such a great town with great people. And I was brought up in New York City, and show business was dog eat dog back then. We're talking the 80s and 90s, even the 70s. But now I find show business here, the movie industry, the TV industry, our newscasters, our Karen Greers and Fred Blankenship and George Estevez, all the great people, all so down to earth, so loving, really care about the communities. The memorial we're doing for Juvita Moore, for the run for brain cancer. Every time we turn around, our news, our journalists, our people at our Atlanta Press Club are doing something to help the community. And I love this area. I love this community. And we don't think of anybody here as celebrities. We think of our community, or they're our neighbors, our sisters and our brothers. And it just happens people like the Ushers and the other people that are from this area kind of fall into that as community. And we get to know them better. So thank you for saying that. I truly would love to meet Dolly Parton one day. She's so philanthropic. And I love her whole reading campaign and giving back to where she lived in Pigeon Forge. She promised she'd come back and do something great for her hometown, and she did. And she just seems real down to earth. And I hope one day if I do meet her, she really is that. So she's somebody that I'd love to meet.
Yeah. Well, fun fact, I actually went to Dollywood for the first time last year. So
I love Dollywood. We go often. We love that place. We love the spa. We get our massages at the spa. But she just seems like everybody's best friend, and always doing good work. And talk about a talent. So anyway, it's great. Well, Tyrik, thank you so much. I'm going to put your Instagram up one more time here. Everybody can follow you on Instagram, which will lead them to all the amazing things that you're doing, your YouTube channel. And feel free to Instagram message Tyrik. He is down to earth. He'll reach back out. He'll have his people reach out to your people. He's busy. He's important. Tyrik, thank you so much. I know that an Emmy is in your future. Don't stop. Keep on going. I know I'll see you at the gala this year, as always, because it wouldn't be the same without you being there. We'll have some fun and watch for us, because we'll do some social media and we'll be behind the scenes at the Emmys this year, because I know we're going to have a good time doing that. Tyrik, last words.
Yeah, last words. Well, one, like I said before, thanks so much for having me. It was great. And yes, definitely claiming that Emmy in the future. I'm claiming it. I'm prophesying it. It's coming by the grace of God. So I definitely appreciate that. And guys, just keep going. Keep going. Keep striving for your dreams. Keep doing what you're doing, and continue to strive for greatness.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to check out your show. Hey, we'll have to be on your show too and have some fun. And I know is your podcast on TV as well? Is it a YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So let's check that out. Tyrik, you're wonderful. Thank you. Everybody follow Tyrik. Give him some love. He's amazing. Thank you for being here to help people be inspired, give them hope, and especially at a young age now too. I love that. So people can learn how to earn more, live big, vivacious, juicy lives, and give back more, because you have more to give to others. So thank you, Tyrik. Thank you, everyone. This is Aurea McGarry saying goodbye from me and everyone here at Get Celebritized. Bye, Tyrik. Thank you.